Daughter is recording her father sing a McDonald's rap song when this was captured.
From here, it looks like a triangle.
It is a triangle with a red light in the middle.
If you thought the Olympics sucked, I've got some good news for you.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Here we go.
History will never tell you that we had and still have free energy. These buildings are proof of our hidden technological past. We can see previous civilizations were much more advanced beyond anything we'd ever imagined, let alone what we've been told. And they hide this because they want to hide the Yugos, the Golden Age. All of these temples and buildings of the old world that were built with a purpose. Not just random decoration, every building served a specific function. They were harnessing kinetic energy and converting it into free electrical power by harnessing the ether above. The amount of construction and craftsmanship in these structures is beyond comprehension. With undeviating geometric symmetry, you mean to tell me they built this with a hammer and chisel? It's time we understand that the history that we've been taught is a complete lie. These buildings and structures left behind tell us the true story of our past.
So maybe there are actually people or groups of people who are intentionally hiding knowledge and information about these, or they just don't know. Is it?
94, is that station?
Where's your station? Where's your station?
901 East 14th Street.
9 what?
901 East 14th Street.
901 East 14th Street. Why is he here?
Because your behavior was erratic.
How is my behavior erratic?
Aggressive and confrontational.
Aggressive. See, this is the words that they use to make you seem like you're irate when you know what you're talking about. So when you defend yourself, they start to use irate, erratic, threatening, vicious, I thought I saw something. That's what they start to do. They use these words so they could defend themselves for pulling you over for a false reason. Please, know your laws. Read the Black Laws Dictionary, because they don't go by the same laws that they say that they put you under. Matter of fact, they don't even have the same jurisdiction that you have. They're private citizens, which means they can harass and pull you over and gun you down in the street and nothing will happen to them because they're private citizens. But if you go after their insurance, then you can dig into their pockets, because the insurance companies don't like that. When you go after insurance companies for police falsely pulling people over, they have to keep giving $1 million settlements. They keep murdering people for no reason. The insurance companies don't like that. So when you know your laws and you go after them in the right way, then you can know how to really get them where it hurts. So I got my son recording both phones just to make sure we can have all angles, just in case they say that their body cams wasn't on, because we have them saying that their body cams was on when they came to the car. We have him on camera putting blue gloves on because he thought that he was going to open my car door and pull me out and falsely check my car. That's why I had to tell him I do not give him the right to search my vehicle, which he had no right to search my vehicle, because there is no suspicion of a crime being committed, have been committed, or about to be committed. He just pulled me over. Right now he's committing kidnap. He's kidnapping me and my son right now because he has no reason why he pulled me over. How long it take? Y'all just recited the codes like that. Now it take him forever? What's going on? What's the deal?
I'm sorry?
What's the deal?
You're getting a ticket.
I got somewhere to go.
Okay.
I'm getting I need to verify that my license plate. I need to verify that my license plate is on the front, because that's what you said you pulled me over for, right? No front license plate, right? Okay.
You can verify that when we're done.
Well, I gotta wait till you're done. That's the thing. That's what they use. They try to intimidate you again by that tactic. They want to show that they're in control, but he's not in control. Somebody else is controlling him, and he comes out here and acts like an asshole and a dickhead because in high school he used to get bullied and picked on and shit. So now he gonna show me. I'm gonna go pick on and harass other people. I'm a creep on the side of her until she passes us, and then I'm gonna get behind her and find a reason. But if you're on the side of me and then you get behind me, how could you tell that there's no front license plate? He didn't even walk around to the front of my car. We got both cameras on him. Don't look at my car, please. That's searching my vehicle. I don't give no consent for you to search my vehicle. That's crazy. The Fraternal Order of Police, that's who they're under. They're a Masonic order. That's how they operate. You see their badge? It's a, look at this, the badge. It's a star. That's the same thing that they do. That's the Masonic star. They're under our order. They're Masons. Some of them know it, some of them don't know it. Make sure you keep your camera on him too. You can see my hands. We don't have any weapons. But they're under the Masonic Fraternal Order of Police. They're Masons. They operate on a different level. So what we think they're policing, they're not here to protect and serve you. They're here to protect and serve property. That's why they'll protect a building from downtown getting destroyed quicker than they'll come to save your life if you was dying. They'll wait for you to kill each other, and then they'll call the police after it's done. Then they'll call an ambulance and a coroner. But before that, they don't protect and serve. They protect and serve property. But that's why you got to keep recording them, so you can show how they behave when they on duty. The intimidating manner that they possess. How they surround your car when you sit in the vehicle with your child. How they talk to you crazy and threaten you to take you to jail because you telling them you know your rights. So if anything else is on...
I'm only sharing awareness on how reading up on your rights can be good. It's better to have it than not need it. Here's another video of that laser in the sky. What do you think that is? They don't even hide it anymore. It's from the last video I posted. Almost similar. What are they looking for? Another question here is, where is it coming from? What's projecting those lasers? What do you think?
I'm here next to the infamous blue umbrellas. How these things survived the fire, I have absolutely no idea. Because what's crazy is, here you have a completely intact umbrella. However, right behind me, check this out. You have melted steel. The temperatures were high enough right here to melt this steel, obviously char this wood.
This was from Maui.
This entire bank of umbrellas basically remains intact. And next to the umbrellas, you have this wood art that's still perfectly fine. Even this wood railing right here. Maybe made out of teak, I don't know. But it's still looking great. Even this fabric right here, still intact. But yet, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm gonna say 12 feet away. You've got that. I don't know how that's physically possible. In the comments, let me know what you think. How is that how can that happen? How is it possible? I mean, okay, fire retardant umbrellas, I get it. Okay, maybe. But wood, fabric, wood here. And the irony of it is, a fire extinguisher. You can't make this stuff up.
Easy. Assuming that lasers were used here, how come the rods holding the umbrellas not affected? It's as if they were deliberate in avoiding anything in blue. If that's the case, why? What's the narrative here? This is in the UK. It's been going on for weeks now. This isn't getting any mainstream media attention too. Don't know what this is, but tell me it's not real. You can even see it from the back of the door.
If you thought the Olympics sucked, I've got some good news for you. I still can't believe this, but in 2025, there's going to be a new Olympics where the athletes are required to take performance-enhancing drugs to enter. It's called the Enhanced Games and has nothing to do with the official Olympics, as the competitors are going to be fully juiced up on everything imaginable with the goal of breaking every world record there is. They're going to have many of the sports from the games we're used to, including track and field, swimming, weightlifting, gymnastics, and combat sports. That's MMA and boxing. And understandably, not everyone's on board with this idea, with the US Anti-Doping Agency and past Olympians publicly denouncing the planned event for obvious safety reasons, claiming it to be dangerous, criminal, and that people will die if it goes through. To which the founders responded that it should actually be safer than regular sports, as the athletes will have access to clean drugs as well as heavy monitoring available on hand, prepared to diagnose and treat them with these substances in their systems, unlike the real Olympics, which prohibits them. Everyone seems to have their own opinion on this, ranging from worrying about the athlete's health to looking forward to watching the peak human condition shatter every world record, even if it is non-natural. It'll sort of split all world records into two categories, natural and enhanced. Enhanced being the greater of the two records, which is gonna cause some disruptions in the sporting industry. These games actually did have an interesting point though, saying that apart from the rare worldwide superstar, most Olympians actually live in poverty, mentioning that tennis players who lose the first round in Wimbledon take home double the amount of the average gold medalist in the Olympics, with the vast majority of the billions of dollars the Olympics do make going into building the stadiums and of course paying the officials and executives. Not only will the base salary be higher in the Enhanced Games, expecting around 6 figures for top tier athletes, but there will also be $1 million prizes for the first people to break world records. Would you watch the Trent Olympics with juice heads going head to head in boxing matches, or is it just dangerous and stupid?
They won't be breaking any records, they will be setting new ones.
Look at that, y'all. See that black sun rays? Them black sun rays? That's what's been talking, boy. Look at that. The black sun rays. That should look like a halo on top of that cloud. Should look like a halo on top of that cloud. Bro, look at that.
Google says it's...
Look at the bird. See? Birds are messengers. They always let you know what's going on.
Anti-crepuscular rays.
Now it's getting more pronounced. It's getting way more pronounced. Wow, have y'all ever seen anything like this? Wow, that is amazing. Yes, black sun, black hole sun, let's go. Jesus.
Is it just the shadows of the clouds covering the sunlight?
Yeah.
That's gonna be that beautiful rainbow.
What do you guys think?
That thing is serious. That's that lightsaber, boy. That's the lightsaber, yeah. It looks like a it looks like an outline of a dragon, no cap. Wow. There's so much going on in the sky, man. Look at this. What the hell?
Also in Canada. People are rising up. Doesn't look like it's an actual tangible thing. Looks like it's projected in the sky.
Hey, if you're still here, please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.
I found a petrified UFO in the mountains of Peru. I ate a bunch of coca leaves and followed this Incan lady way up a mountain to a remote area.
This Incan lady seems very certain that this is a petrified spacecraft.
She said that the ship was used by Yupanqui Puma, son of the first Inca, to communicate with the Apulianas, or the light beings, and bring back information. And once the Spanish arrived, the ship was decommissioned. She told us that she communicates with these beings and has actually flown off with them, and that they give knowledge on which plants to use as medicine. Then we climbed on top of the UFO, where she had us make a greeting to the unmanifested sun. She said that when the Spanish arrived, many Incas just merged into hyperspace with the light beings.
I mean, her eyes don't lie. She's telling the truth. That's the crazy part.
I know that these ideas are challenging to the Western mind, but let me know what you think in the comments, and watch the full vlog on my YouTube channel if you can.
Daughter is recalling her father sing a McDonald's rap song when this was captured.
Alright, so Dad, if you remember the
I'm telling you,
stupid rap.
I could do it all. I think it was like 88, 89, maybe, I don't think it was 90, maybe 87, 88, 89. They had this record that was a square. It was from McDonald's, but they put it in the Columbus Dispatch. But anyway, it's like a piece of paper, but you put it on like a 33, and it had like the Big Mac song on it. And if you could recite it and go into the store, like the restaurant, and recite it, they give you free food or something. I still know the whole song.
This has got to be the nerdiest I've ever heard in my entire life. Go.
Are you posting this?
I'm gonna post it.
Well, just a disclaimer, I'm fat and I don't give a shit. So
oh god.
This out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Big Mac McDLT, quarter pounder with some cheese fillet, a fish, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, a Happy Meal, McNuggets, tasty golden French fries.
Did you see that?
It moved. The cup moved.
Are you kidding me right now?
Oh! Got another one.
Move back! Move away!
I'm just sharing awareness of what's going on in other countries. You won't see these videos on the news.
Nicki Minaj, she's not the one singing. It's actually the voice of Jay-Z. If you grab a Nicki Minaj song and pitch it down, I've got an example.
It
you can
sounds like
actually hear Jay-Z.
Somebody please tell him who the F I is.
Oh!
Alright, it's a little eye-opener.
He's being caught.
At 100 miles in the ocean, 100 miles, how much curvature should there be? 6,000 feet. It's about 6,000 feet of curvature, so you should not be able to see.
Is that how far you could see?
No, you wouldn't be able to see 100 miles away from the ocean. At 100 miles, there should be 6,000 feet of curvature. You don't even understand what that means.
I don't.
I understand what that means. If we live on a ball that at every 100 miles, there should be 6,000 feet of curvature. There's a formula for it. When you look, there's Navy ships that can target other Navy ships with lasers 100 miles away. It would be impossible if there was a 6,000 foot curvature of water. Impossible. They take pictures of their target. Pictures at 100 miles. There's no curvature. It's flat. There should be 6,000 feet of curvature.
Look, I'm not the one to tell you to believe the earth is flat, because even I myself don't believe it is. Not yet, at least. But it makes you question the globe narrative. It's thought-provoking nonetheless, right?
From here, it looks like a triangle.
It is a triangle with a red light in the middle.
Wow. Wow, that's a weird contrast.
It is. The red light is right in the center of the triangle. That's unusual.
That is weird.
Tons of sky anomalies nowadays.
Now this is where you need to zoom in.
There's something right beside us here. There's stuff moving in the bushes beside us.
What do you guys think that is?
Amazing.
It didn't have a tail, that's what I noticed.
No.
There's a movie that if you watch it, I can personally guarantee you will be thinking about it for days after. Now, there is some awareness of this film on TikTok because I've seen some people posting clips. It's a very quotable movie. It's a film that gets referenced a lot, especially in old TV shows, but always in the context of making fun of it. Here's Family Guy, here's The Simpsons doing a bit about it, here's the show Community parodying one of the scenes. The movie they're all referencing and making fun of is called My Dinner with Andre. It's from 1981. The reason people made fun of My Dinner with Andre is because the film is literally two guys having a dinner, not just eating quietly for 2 hours, but it's about the discussion they have over that dinner. And a lot of you have immediately either stopped watching this video or decided you will never watch this thing. Treat it like a podcast, I don't know. But the discussion they have is something that I see people having every day on here and on the internet and on any podcast that's about like the meaning of modern life. The setup is that this guy, Wallace Shawn, you've seen him in The Princess Bride, has been invited to a dinner with a friend who he has been avoiding for months because the friend is crazy. He's a writer, his friend is in theater, and years ago his friend dropped out of society. And last he heard, the guy had joined a weird cult or something. So now this guy's been pestering him like, oh, we got to get together. And he's like, I do not want to talk to this guy. But at the start of the film, he finally relents and they sit down. And what ensues is this guy going off on what sounds like a very crazy rant and him becoming slowly more and more intrigued. And the premise is that this guy has decided that modern life is phony and spiritually barren. And so what he did was he went off on an eat, pray, love type adventure to reconnect with himself and spirituality and the world. Whereas he stayed behind and just lived his normal day-to-day life in New York and his little apartment going to his job. And the thing that caused this guy to kind of abandon his life and leave the country is the idea that everyone is just playing a role, that no one is actually acting on their own desires. You know, you get up in the morning, if you put on pants, why did you do that? Well, you did it because other people expect you to wear pants. They get mad if you don't, but why do they expect you to wear pants? Because other people expect them to expect you to wear pants. Everybody is simply acting based on what society has told them is expected, but most people cannot identify where that expectation comes from.
Makes sense.
So the question he's asking is, where inside you is the actual thing you want to do versus what moment to moment you have been told society expects you to do? All of the choices you make throughout the day in terms of how you groom yourself, what you eat, how you talk, how you dress, everything is based on society setting these rules. And his assertion is that modern humans, that there's basically nothing left after the expectations, where it's actually just, okay, well, what do you actually want? Are you picking a partner, a romantic partner, based on what you're expected to desire? Or are you actually going after what your own heart wants? But what's great about the film is that it is not trying to convince you that this guy is right, because he pushes back, saying that there's no reason you can't find meaning just walking around at the corner convenience store. That those people's lives, the people on the subway, the people you just run into, are just as deep and meaningful as the lives this guy ran into traveling the world. The movie is more than 40 years old, but every single word of this is more relevant now than it was then. Because everything he says about how modern life can kind of lure you into sleepwalking through your own life, where you have people close to you going through crises that you don't even recognize because you're so distracted and so obsessed with your own presentation to the world. All of the trends they discuss and bring up are more pronounced now in the social media age than they were then. Anyway, you can watch it for free. It is two guys having dinner, but it is not boring if you listen to what they're saying.
I'm definitely watching this movie, and to those who already have, what are your thoughts on this?
Flat Earth that does trip me out. You know the one thing about Flat Earth that does trip me out? Google images of satellites. Just like type in satellite. Just all,
There's no real pictures?
Not a single one is not. This is the one thing that tripped me out, I'm not gonna lie. They're all just like renders.
Why?
It's true.
Why do you think?
This is the one, I'm gonna say, this is the one thing that trips me out. I've never seen a satellite that was real. I'm just saying, I'm not a flat earther, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is very strange that you bring that up. Why would they want to sell us on Earth being round?
That's not the only thing they're selling you on. They're selling you on space as well. That's why you think like that, because you're thinking outer space and all those other planets and stuff
real?
like that. Yeah. Huh?
You don't think they're real? You don't think sun's real?
No, sun is real. The sun and the moon is real. Okay. But outer space is not.
Well, then what is it? What are
It's
we doing?
water over the firmament. It's water.
Over the firmament and stuff.
We're in the ocean right now?
We under the firmament, under the dome, and it's water over the firmament. It says it in the Bible. Planets are wandering stars that you think about.
So you think all that, like them going to Mars stuff is all...
How they going to the Mars? Why they gonna put the same rover on the moon so we can watch the Earth spin right now? How they gonna go to Mars?
They're talking about building a society on Mars, right?
Yeah. Why they doing that? Why they ain't got the same thing on the moon right now, though?
And it doesn't have to be flat, but it's definitely not a spinning globe.
As I've already stated, the word income is not defined in the Income Tax Act of 1994. I cannot give the exact definition as requested if it did not exist. Well, that's pretty interesting since that's what they're taxing, and yet they're not going to tell you what it is. Of course, we have the same problem in our country. The word income is not defined in ours either. They're going to tax it, but they're not going to tell you what it is. I would go to the IRS office that has said that you owed money and said, what's the definition of income? And when they say, well, it doesn't exist there, well, I'm going to define it then. I say it's chickens, and I said, I ain't got any, so I don't owe you anything. Now, if you do that, now think about this, if you do that, they're going to have to tell you it's not chickens. But they didn't define it, so how can they tell you it's not chickens? They can't tell you it's not anything if they didn't define it. So they got to define it in order to tell you it's not something. See? But that's just if you want to have fun with them. You might get the same answer this Mr. Clayton did on it. He asked, how, when, and where did I become a taxpayer? The department holds no specific records as to how a person becomes a taxpayer. Now catch that one. They don't have any records to show how anybody becomes one. Get the next sentence. There are no specific documents or forms as such held by the department that states that any person is a taxpayer. And it says accordingly, there are no specific records held by the department that states when a person becomes one. Look, I'm asking exactly the same question, and I want exactly the same answer. This letter with my name on it. All right? Now, how's he not going to give it to you? Because if he gave it to this other guy and he won't give it to you, that's discrimination. There's discrimination laws, you know. They can't discriminate against you. You're asking exactly the same question. You want exactly the same answer. All right? So give it to me. The guy that wrote this is part of the legal department of the IRD. All right? So anyway, ask the question of the IRS. How, when, and where did I become a taxpayer? This is where the money is supposed to go. It says the income tax is imposed, and it says subject to this act there shall be levied and paid for the use of the crown for the year commencing 1st April of each year, a tax in this act referred to as income tax. Okay, now this came as kind of a shock to these New Zealanders because they thought that the income tax was used to build the roads and the hospitals and all this other good stuff, you know, the infrastructure of New Zealand, and instead it's going for the crown, which is over in England, okay? And they said, no, it's used to build the roads and all this other stuff. I said, well, let's do a Freedom of Information Act request and let's see what they say. Because instead of us arguing about it, let's let them tell us, right? And so there was an old boy that did that, and he sent me a copy of it. But here's what he asked for. Please send me certified copies of the documents that evidence that the money collected by the IRD from income tax does not go to the Crown. For your letter, in which you've requested copies of documents that evidence that the money collected by Inland Revenue does not go to the Crown. As the money collected by the Inland Revenue Department from income tax does in fact go to the Crown, I'm unable to provide documentary evidence that it does not. These people are in a state of shock because, yeah, that's where it's going. I said, well, it can't go anywhere else because the law was very specific. See, their original law was 1908, ordinary expenses of His Majesty, you know, the daily expenses. That's what the income tax was originally for. It's never been changed. And so as late as 1994, which was the latest one they had, it still said the same thing, didn't it? Still going to the crown, okay, because the Queen needs money, all right? So that's where it's going. So instead of doing anything for New Zealand at all, it's going to the Queen. Now this was only after this guy Doug Cameron threatened to sue him if they didn't give it to him. All right? And Freedom of Information Act request, first of all, they told him the same thing that New Zealand just found out. The term income is not defined in their act, so we have no idea what they're taxing. But down here to the second part, it says, with regards to the creation of the Australian Taxation Office, I was able to ascertain that the ATO was created as a branch of the Commonwealth Public Service by an executive instrument in 1973. Well, now we know what document created them, right? Now then, remember, this is written by R.J. Tompkins, who is the lawyer for the ATO. He says, an extensive search of the ATO library and records management system failed to identify any document relevant to this part of your request. Similarly, inquiries to the Commissioner's Office, People and Structures Branch, the Delegations and Authorities Officer, and the Parliamentary Business Unit did not identify any document. And on the advice of the Australian Governor's Solicitor's Office, I contacted the Office of the Official Secretary to the Governor General in an attempt to identify and obtain a copy of the executive instrument. This office referred me to the Federal Executive Council, who then suggested I contact the Australian Archives. A detailed search by all offices failed to locate the relevant document. Well, you understand the importance of this. The importance of this is, if they can't find the document that shows they legally exist, see, that's the real relevant part of it. So what Doug did, since this guy says, I can't give it to you, he appealed it. And so the appeals officer wrote him back. And here's what he said. It says in its decision, Mr. Wallace. Now, Mr. Wallace was actually writing on Mr. Tompkins' behalf, on the first letter. Mr. Wallace outlined the extent of his search in attempting to locate this document. I've made my own inquiries along the same lines as the previous one undertaken. I also cannot locate the document. All right? So now the appeals officer can't locate it. So there's two that can't locate it, and they're both from the legal department. You know it. And they just happen to have a bankruptcy case going on. Doug gave them these letters, certified them to be true, certified them that they're true as he received them. And they used them in the bankruptcy case. And they said, wait a minute, the ATO is saying that they're a creditor and that this person owes them money, but they can't show they legally exist. And if they can't show they don't legally exist, then they can't be a creditor.
If the USA is so great, then why did someone make a USB?
I think this guy is a genius.
The system is rigged.
Alright, that's it for today's session. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the content, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing while you're at it. Thanks again everyone for showing up, and I will see you around.